So welcome back, students. Now we're going to talk about a microbial interaction called the amensalism. The term amensalism, it mainly involves the adverse effect or the negative effect which an organism will have on another organism. The term amensalism is not only restricted to microbes, but you can see that if anything gives a negative impact on another organism in the higher forms also, we call it as a amensalistic reaction. Now, you can see that now the growth of the algae, the higher or the large amount of growth of algae in water bodies could inhibit the growth of fishes and all that because of the process of oxygen depletion. Okay, or the algal blooming could inhibit the growth of various other organisms. That is also a kind of amensalism. Now, amensalism is a unidirectional process and it is based upon the release of a specific compound by one organism that has a negative effect on the other. And the most classical example of amensalism in microbes is the production of antibiotics, which will inhibit or kill the susceptible microorganisms. Now you can have a look on that. You can see here in this picture, Penicillium species, it is producing penicillin, and this penicillin will inhibit or kill the other bacteria. So this is a case of amensalistic reaction. Similarly, you can see that various microbes have various amensalistic reactions. That is, for their survival, they will produce certain secondary metabolites like it could be an antibiotic or it could be any other organic acid or anything like that, which will inhibit the growth of the others. So, all such reactions come under what? Amensalistic reactions. There are some examples which I have cited here. You have vaginal microbes. Now, for example, in the vagina itself, we have lots of microbes which are prevalent as a normal flora. They might produce various acids to prevent the growth of Candida albicans in the vaginal tract. And at the same time, we have another example here is Thiobacillus thioxidans. It can produce sulfuric acid by the oxidation of sulfur, and this production of acid would lower the aquatic pH, thereby inhibiting many other microbes which could have a drastic effect. And the most commonly used probiotic lactobacillus, it usually produces niacin, a bacteriocin, which will help to preserve the food bacteria from the spoilage bacteria. So these are all examples of amensalistic reactions which have been prevalent in microbes, in where the microbes will produce certain secondary metabolites or certain other components such as acids, antibiotics, etc., which will inhibit the growth of the other bacteria. Now, another kind of classical example of amensalism is mainly being noted in the case of Ethylene ants. These ants mainly belong to the New World tribe and they take an advantage of an interaction between an actinomycete and a parasitic fungi in the genus Ascorbyes. Ethylene ants, they have an amensalistic reaction which is mainly being used to control the growth of a parasite which could inhibit its growth. If you go to look into the ant environment, I'll just show you a picture, then it is more clear. If you go to consider the Ethine ant normally it cultivates a fungal garden. Leucoprene is in its fungal garden. That is, on its surface itself, it will grow certain fungi. And the purpose of growing this fungi is mainly because it requires lots of nutrition. And the nutrition is mainly being provided by leucoprene or which has been present in its fungal garden. But another parasite called the Escovopsis, it is being found, it is a parasitic fungi which will inhibit or try to destroy the fungal garden. So, to protect its fungal garden from Ascowopsis, the Ethylene ant is also growing another actinomycete called the pseudonucardia. Now, pseudonucardia it is mutualistic in the Ethylene ant and it will produce certain antibiotics. And these antibiotics are being found to be what? Amensalistic to Ascowopsis. So, if you go to look into the Ethylene community or the Ethylene ant interactions, you can see that it is having two mutualistic interactions over here. One is with the leucoprene and one is with the actinomycete pseudonucardia. And among these interactions itself, we come across a type of amensalistic reaction where the secondary metabolites or the antibiotics produced by pseudonucardia are being used to control Ascowopsis, which is a parasite on the fungal garden raised by Ethylene ants. Now, this is a four-member interaction which has been happening in the case of Ethylene ants. But in the picture, you can also see there's another one here. There is another organism over here called the Phyllophora. Now, what is mainly this? And why does a fifth interaction happen over here? If some pseudonucardial cells grow and if they are not producing antibiotics, they have to be removed. And so, as a predator of pseudonucardia, we have the Phyllophora. And though this is an energy intensive process because the Ethylene ant have to grow one more person over here, it is in fact an answer to the cheaters. If the actinomycete has not been producing antibiotic, they will serve as a cheater and they are being controlled by the what? The Phyllophora over here. Phyllophora, it's an ascomycetous fungus and thus when you go to look into the Ethylene ants, you have a mutualistic interaction also as well as you also have an amensalistic reaction also. You also have a predatory reaction also here. So, the example of Ethylene ant could help us to give various examples of various microbial interactions which are happening simultaneously. I hope this is clear to you. With this, we come to an end of the amensalism. And do remember, amensalistic reaction is a reaction in which one organism harms the other. So, thank you now.